What's up, everybody? It's Dr. Jeff, Chief Medical Officer at Rythmia Life Advancement Center. So tonight we're going to talk about what is going on in the world with splitting you guys up and having you disconnect from yourself and dividing you in order to conquer you. All right, we want to talk about this. So at Rythmia, we believe that all mental illness, all discontent, all physical ailments, all addiction, all things that are upsetting to us, relationship issues, all kinds of stuff that's going on is a result of you being unplugged from yourself. And in psychology, we call that dissociated. So what is the motives of society, right? Well, if you're unplugged from yourself, you can be manipulated. If you're unplugged from yourself, you can be controlled. And then you can be forced to consume and to not think about things that are real and authentic for you. It's a way to kind of guide you down a path that leads to personal unhappiness, family discord, physical problems, anxiety, depression, mental health issues, all kinds of stuff. So being unplugged from you and not connected to who you really are as a person is something that is like the goal of the dark side of the world. And what we're doing at Rythmia is we know this, right? We're aware of this. And our main goal is to help you plug back into yourself and to connect with who you are as a person. Because what we believe is that ages like around 4 to 7, most people unplug. And they do this for a variety of reasons. They do it because they're being abused. They do it because they're abandoned. They do it because they don't have caregivers that are available to them emotionally. When a kid is 5 years old and feels that they have to take care of themselves emotionally, that's a scary position. So they unplug, and then they start to operate from a position of sort of emotional sort of sensitivity that helps them read people and understand other people. And I've talked about this in my Facebook Lives with empath strategies and things that go on for kids that have this happen to them. And, it's not in a capitalistic society's best interest that you're plugged into yourself. Because if you are, then you question authority, you question big pharma, you question the government, you question big corporations. You just kind of like resign yourself when you're unplugged to just like what's going on the TV, and what's the radio telling me, what's the news telling me. And that's what I believe, right? And that's being completely unplugged from yourself. So being unplugged is the goal of society for you. It's for these like evil empires, you could say. They're trying to get you to be manipulated. What we believe at Rythmia is when you're plugged into yourself, this does not happen. You are not controlled by anybody. You are guided by your own conscience. You're guided by your soul. You're guided by who you really are as a person. And that's what we're trying to accomplish with these individuals that come here. Tonight, we got a lot of people up there. It's Monday night. It's the first night of the plant medicine. And they're all going through this. And what they're going to do is you have these intentions. Show me who I've become, reunite me with my soul, and heal my heart. And that's the goal. Because once you're healed and plugged into you, you can't be controlled by anybody. And you're operating from a place of authenticity. And it's a beautiful thing. So if you look at society, there's all these things going on right now. Like let's split up people. Let's divide people based on racial background. Let's call people racist. Let's insinuate. Let's have racism go down. Let's have gender issues go down. Men and women, transgenders, gay and homosexual and heterosexual. Let's have them fight each other. Let's have Democrats and Republicans fight each other. Let's have all this racism go down. Let's have, people that have money and those that don't. Let's have them like hate each other. Let's have different countries go against each other, Muslim versus Christian countries. Let's have them like hate each other and let's divide everybody. Let's have all this division. And what happens with that, because people are like in their own world, they're dealing with their own day to day, and they see they're being oppressed by certain groups or governments or systems or structures, social structures, right? And they just like fight against it until they fight back. But they're not stepping out of themselves. They're not looking at what's going on in the big picture, because division creates separation from not only society, but also self. And then it is an easy way to manipulate the outcome. And that's what's happening. You can see it all going on all around. Gun laws versus no guns, and people having guns versus not having guns. And people like, from Saudi Arabia or Afghanistan versus US or England. And there's like, all this crazy crap going on, like, the medical field, traditional medicine versus like holistic homeopathic stuff, right? It's just crazy. And the goal of this, right, in the big picture, if you look what's really happening, is it is a way to manipulate you and to get you to follow a certain protocol that is not authentic to who you are as a person. It doesn't bring you happiness. It doesn't help you be successful and happy and peaceful with your family. It doesn't help you be a community member. It helps you have anxiety. It helps you take meds. It helps you have opiates that get in the mix. The opiate crisis is really simple to understand. People are upset with their life. That's what that's about. It's not about pain management. It's not about, getting high. It's about people being upset with their reality. And that's what opiates are about. So we have this opiate crisis going on in the US and Canada, other parts of the world. And what's the reason? Well, they tell you that doctors are, prescribing too many meds, and, we have to regulate the pharmaceutical companies. That's not the reason. Okay, the reason there's opiate crisis going on in the world is because people are upset with their lives. They're not happy with what's going on. They want to numb out. Okay, so if you need to numb out with whatever substance you're using or whatever behavior you're choosing to do, pornography is that way. Pornography is meant to numb you out. Pornography is meant to catch you in a certain sort of pattern that keeps you sort of wishing what's happening next. Next thing you know, you're numb. You're in a bubble. You're not able to even connect with your spouse, with your family, with your employees, with your fellow workers. You're totally out of the system. That's right where they want you. They want you there because then they can control you. Even in the plant medicine world, I've heard a lot of people comment on, what's going on at Rythmia versus what's going on in the jungle. And they say, Rythmia is so corporate. And there's all these ayahuasca people that are these elites that have gone to Peru and gone to the Amazon and gone into Colombia. And they've done it with a shaman who has a bloodline, which is really, really cool, by the way, right? But they say that's the only way to do it. So the only people that can really get this healing from plant medicine are people that are adventurous, young enough to do it, have the physical stamina to handle it, can deal with, tarantulas, 10 of them in their bed, and can lie on the ground in the grass and the dirt. And those are the people that really deserve this healing because they've gone through the indigenous sort of way, right? Well, guess what? I got news for you. You're not from there, okay? You're not from there. You're from Sandusky, Ohio, and you're not from the Amazon. Okay, so what's going on for you if you try to go down there is, it could be really cool, but most people aren't going to do that. So even in the plant medicine world, there's a separation. Don't do what is so-called a corporate thing. Don't go and get actual healing when there's a place that's safe for you, that you can kind of like wrap your head around, that has doctors and nurses and psychologists and therapists, but also has shaman and Reiki healers and massage and body work in a comfortable environment. Don't do that, right? Don't do that, because that would be inauthentic to the actual plant medicine from where it comes from. Well, I got news for all you Westerners that say that, by the way, which is only Westerners, because the shamans that I talk to that are from those places do not think this way. They don't say this, okay? The ones that are real. They don't say what you're saying. They say this plant medicine heals you no matter where you take it, no matter what circumstances you're under, you have to have a shaman and a person guiding it who is intentionally positive and there for your benefit. That's it. Not that you have to be living in the jungle and cruising down to the Peru. And, if that was the case, okay, if that was the case, then 6,000 of the people that we've seen at Rythmia would not be healed. And if you look at the math, 6,000 people have come to Rythmia, right? They've affected their families. Well, let's say it's 4 people, okay? 6,000 times 4, okay, which have affected their friends, which are, let's say, 10, which have affected their staff or their employees, the people they work with, which is another 30 people. Okay, so we're talking about thousands of people, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people that are affected positively by the vibrational shift that you do when you come to Rythmia. Okay, so to all those elite plant medicine people out there, you guys are just as bad as the government. You guys are just as bad as the pharmaceutical industries, trying to divide us and trying to conquer, trying to stop the progression and the healing that's needed for society. What we're trying to do at Rythmia is get a healing going. Now, we're not trying to shut down anybody. If somebody wants to go to the jungle, go for it. Go for it. That's cool. Like, if I was 20 years younger, I'd be right there with you. Okay, but I'm not. I'm 50 years old. I'm a dad. I got 4 kids. I'm older. I get achy and I feel up, I feel sore when I wake up. And I don't want to eat rice and bananas for a week. Okay, what I want to do is be in a place that's, a little bit more comfortable for me, because I guess I'm soft. Okay, I guess I'm soft, right? That's just, but don't I deserve the healing too? So if I'm not going to go to the jungle to get this, do I deserve to get it? Well, yes, I do. And Rythmia provides that bridge for those people that need to get the healing, that are not going to venture off up the Amazon River and deal with piranhas and deal with, crocodiles and deal with dengue fever and yellow fever, right? Yeah, by the way, if you go to there, you got to get yellow fever vaccinations to get back into the US, just so you know. Okay, so anyway, the system is designed to split us up as individuals and unplug us from who we really are as people. And it's also designed to manipulate society. So don't be one of those people that, buys into this. And if you're watching this, you're probably on board with what I'm talking about, right? So don't be somebody that's going to agree to be dissociated, because you've had enough dissociation in your life. You've been through trauma. You've been through abuse. You've been through relationships that are not okay. You've been through, abandonment. You've been through a lot of disappointment in your life. And what you deserve, right, is to be plugged back into who you are and heal yourself. I believe that everyone can heal themselves. And we don't make medical claims, but there's a lot of guests here that report having amazing physical miracles happen for them. And that's because they've plugged back into who they are as people. And they're united with their soul. They're united with them. The body is a very amazing thing. The body can change and shift and adjust. All these disorders that come up, we got Crohn's disease, we got celiac disease, we have lupus, we have arthritis, we have fibromyalgia, we have Lyme's disease, from ticks, if you're from Boston or upstate New York, right? Rhode Island. What's up, Rhode Island? There's all these things that the Western model says you can't change. You're done. You have it, you're screwed. We don't believe that, because we've seen it change. We've seen things happen here for people because they have the intention, they have the strong-willed mind to really focus on their healing, and they've cleared out all the baggage that's holding them back. They've cleared out the societal norms that have held them back, and now they're really who they are as individuals. Don't let the system tell you otherwise. Don't do it. Turn off the news. The news is meant to unplug you from yourself, and it's meant to pit you against other people. I got news for you. At Rythmia, We have all different types of people, all walks of life. We have everybody that's existing in the world that comes to Rythmia, all races, all ethnicities, all religious backgrounds, all different countries, all ways of thinking, ways of eating, ways of existing. We have all these different people. They're from all over the globe, and they come here, and guess what they do? They all bond as a family, and they all unite together, because guess what they have in common? One thing, that they want to see who they've become, and they want to be happy, and they want to connect with themselves. I've seen Muslims and Christians hugging and crying when they have to leave and go back home because they're so connected to each other. I've seen people that would be enemies on the outside be here and connect to themselves first, and then have true loving empathy for the other people that they would normally never meet, never talk about, never understand, never know. That's the goal. True empathy. True empathy for other people is the goal. And the only way to get that is if you plug into who you are as a person and connect with your soul. Because you can't really have empathy if you don't know who you are, right? That's what this is about. That's what we're doing at Rythmia, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's beautiful what's happened here. So to all those ayahuasca elitists, all you guys that say that the only way to do plant medicine is to honor a certain tradition in the jungle, good. That's good for you. Good. That's good for you. That is not good for everybody, because the mom, CEO, single mom from Sandusky, Ohio, is not necessarily going to go to Peru. Does she deserve healing? Yes, she does. And she would probably come to Rythmia because we have certain comforts that she needs to let herself feel safe and let her go deep. And that's what we're doing. So I challenge anybody to talk to me about this, because people that spout this kind of like ridiculous rhetoric have never worked with people. I have 25 plus years of working with the most extreme populations who are on death's door, whether it's drug and alcohol addiction, acute mental health, suicidal ideation and attempts, med list that's a laundry list long, and they're living in all kinds of different rough environments, right? Low income, underserved, all the way up to like the most powerful CEOs of the world. I've worked with these people, okay? I've worked with indigenous populations. I've worked with all these people, and guess what they need? They need healing. They need a space for them. They do. And if you're going to hold them to a traditional sort of framework that you think you know what's best for them, being from Tennessee, you have another thing coming, because all the shamans I've talked to, they're indigenous people. They don't believe like you do. Okay, so you're the only one. So you're not in line with them, just so you know. Like, you're not in line with what they think. Tata Juanito, who is our overriding shaman, who's from a bloodline of ayahuasqueros in Colombia, says that this medicine is for everybody. And it's supposed to be given to them in an environment that suits them. Some go to his finca in Colombia. Some go to a rustic sort of retreat south of here. And some come to Rythmia. But what's important is that they get the healing. They get the healing from the medicine. They're not unplugged from themselves. They're not divided. They're not being conquered. They're not being separated. They're being united. And that's what the goal of Rythmia is, to unite people with themselves and then unite them with everybody else. That's the way the world changes. That's the way the world heals. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm on my soapbox tonight because I'm feeling all this freaking power of Rythmia. All right, you guys. See you next Monday. Pura vida.